Hamas political leader Ismail Haniyeh says that the group is showing flexibility in negotiations with Israel, but at the same time it is ready to continue the fight. In a televised speech, he called on the Iran-led political and military coalition known as the Axis of Resistance to step up its support for Gaza through political leverage, money and weapons. The Hamas leader also asked Palestinians in Jerusalem and in the West Bank to march to Al-Aqsa mosque to pray on the first day of Ramadan. Representatives of Hamas and Fatah will meet in Moscow tomorrow, citing the Palestinian ambassador to Russia. Russian state news agency RIA reported that the meeting will include discussions on the formation of a unified Palestinian government and the rebuilding of Gaza. Mediators from Egypt, Qatar and the United States have been trying to find a path to a ceasefire amid the fighting in Gaza. While US President Joe Biden said he believed a deal could be reached by next week, others, well, they've sounded notes of caution about progress towards a potential agreement on a truce deal in Gaza. For more, Sarah Coates joins us. She's live for us from Tel Aviv. Sarah, negotiations are hanging in the balance here. What's the latest that you're hearing about a potential ceasefire and how far these negotiations have actually progressed?
Hello, Dawn. It certainly seems as though a deal between these warring parties could be some way off, despite this optimism that we have been hearing from the United States. You mentioned those comments there from Ismail Haniyeh, a large gap certainly remaining there on that side, while the Israeli spokesperson, Tal Heinrich, she said there will be no deal unless Hamas drops what she's calling their outlandish demands. So certainly what we have been seeing through the course of this process and these other negotiations also is the sticking point being the end to this war. Hamas is very adamant that there must be a ceasefire, a full withdrawal of Israeli forces from the Gaza Strip. And this is something that Israel has been saying simply will not happen. The Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, coming out pretty much every single day saying that they will fight until complete victory, that even if there is a deal, that this operation potentially into the southern city of Rafah will go ahead. But this is certainly extremely worrying to not just these people on the ground inside the Gaza Strip who are facing extreme hardships. We've heard from the United Nations saying they're on the brink of famine. But we also need to remember the families of these hostages who are still being held in Gaza also. They are today marching from the Gaza border all the way to Jerusalem, and they are demanding that the Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, come to some sort of an agreement and do it now to get these people out, Dawn.
Sarah, meantime, the fighting between Israel and militants in Lebanon, that has been intensifying recently. Share with us, if you can, an update on what's been happening there.
Certainly, it is really only escalating by the day. Certainly a real worry, given that Ramadan is around the corner and given what we heard there from Ismail Haniyeh, there can potentially be an escalation around this time, and this is what's got Israeli security forces extremely worried about. Just over the last few hours, Hamas, based in Lebanon, has come out to claim a barrage of rockets that were fired from southern Lebanon into Israeli territory. Apparently, they were aiming at an IDF base. They did, in fact, get through some of these rockets through the Iron Dome missile defence system, hitting a residential building. Pretty dramatic pictures coming in there of a huge hole in the roof. In response, the IDF has been striking back at the source of this rocket fire. And this has just been going on, as I said, on a daily basis. We have heard both sides, Hezbollah and Israel, saying they do not want war, but it certainly appears to be potentially getting closer, especially given the pressure on the Israeli government to restore the security situation on that northern border and get these 80,000 or so people who have been internally displaced home.
Sarah, thank you for that update. Sarah Coates there, live for us in Tel Aviv.